After the success of Child of Light and Valiant Hearts, Ubisoft may have found a formula to stick with when it comes to their downloadable games. So what happens though when you take that particular route of developing games and base it off an already existing franchise? The Assassin's Creed franchise over the last year has had its issues. Not only with the buggy Unity game we received over the holidays, but with the argument that the series is past the point of franchise fatigue. And even after we have gotten 2 games late last year with another one on the way this holiday season, Ubisoft Montreal and developer Climax Studios has decided to grace us with 3 more games before then in the form of 3 separate download-only 2.5D games in the Assassin's Creed series called Assassin's Creed Chronicles. The first game to be bestowed upon us in this set of games is Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. Does China reinvigorate the franchise, or is it too little too late? The story focuses on a member of the Chinese Brotherhood of Assassins that infiltrates the Eight Tigers clan, a Templar group, to avenge the deaths of those who died in the attempt to kill off everyone in the Brotherhood. While there is much more to the tale, the story does tie in to one of the assassins we have already met in previous games, so we'll keep it a bit vague. The story is told using beautifully rendered living art that is reminiscent of old Chinese inkwash paintings. The use of colors, mostly browns, blacks, grays, and red, gives the Assassin's Creed a personality of its own and helps the game distinguish itself from the others. Many of the usual tropes that make the Assassin's Creed games what we know them to be are still intact. Eagle vision to open up the map to find hidden treasures, leaps of faith into barrels of hay, blending in with crowds to keep from being spotted, desynchronizations, and of course assassinations. The use of the 2D environments allows the player to use new hiding techniques in the game, which is a welcome addition that allows us to enjoy a new game in the series without relying completely on recycled ideas. New additions include the use of the rope that allows the player to climb to ceilings to avoid detection in the game, as well as the occasional foot blade, where Xiao kicks a guard in the neck resulting in puncturing their throat. While these new additions are great, we wish there was more to do with them instead of just waiting for the event to happen as they are needed. Instead of climbing simply onto ceilings, we really wanted to be able to use the rope to assassinate and drag enemies from the side of other guards. This didn't make or break the enjoyment of the game, mind you. It was just that we wanted to make the game and player have more choices in its use of assassinations in combat. New items and tricks are used in this new entry to help Xiao along the way, not to kill enemies but to distract them. The use of whistling firecrackers, noise spears, and spears to cut rope help the player get through the levels with a bit more ease. The environment is also used extremely well, as the use of water, wind chimes, and animal noises can set off the guard's detection skills if you're not paying attention and don't take your time. This game, as it should be, is very stealth oriented, and you will die more times than expected if you don't take the time needed to map out a strategy. Combat is used in the game with the same button setup as the other games when it comes to blocking and parrying, light attacks and heavy attacks. As you progress through the game, you learn new button commands and gain new items, and while the combat is simple to learn, the execution of it doesn't work well in the game. The reason that the combat is almost unnecessary in the game is that if you do get caught, other guards will come to the aid of the guard and finish you off quickly, with slim to no chance of getting out of it. You may be able to take out an enemy or two around you, but as you advance in the game, don't count on taking everyone out like you could in the retail versions of the Assassin's Creed games, unless you find a way to run away to get out of sight. On top of that, some of the attacks come off as too slow and hardly give you any time to land a hit. If you parry an attack, it will knock the enemy backwards, but if they have a shield, the only way to break it is to use heavy attacks, which are too slow and inevitably will get you killed. The best way to play this game is by not even entertaining the thought of taking on an enemy one-on-one if you can help it, and use stealth as you are rewarded by doing so. However, you are graded at the end of each level based on your combat and stealth skills, so it's worth replaying again if you don't get a perfect gold ranking in either one, especially if you're a completionist. The game does a great job of creating a want to go back and do better, as most will realize another way they could have gotten past the area. While Assassin's Creed Chronicles China is not necessarily a game changer for the franchise, it is a refreshing addition to it, and fans of the series should try the game for the low price to get a few hours of challenging gameplay. Admittedly, it took us a while to get used to the mechanics, as we had to get our head around the new way to play and see Assassin's Creed, which is strange because the button layout is almost the same. It will be interesting to see how they evolve these games in the near future, but Assassin's Creed China is a great step in a new direction. I give Assassin's Creed China a 4 out of 5. You've been listening to the Nerd Theory channel. Please go to highscorereviews.com to read the written review. And please subscribe, like, and share for everybody else. Thank you very much, and have a good one.